This is Daily Armenia, ＳիվիլNeթ's daily news digest. Here's what's making headlines in Armenia today. Armenian Prime Minister Nikol Pashinyan and Azerbaijani President Ilham Aliyev met today in Copenhagen, Denmark, on the sidelines of the ongoing European Political Community Summit, in a rare in-person exchange aimed at advancing regional cooperation and peace efforts, the Armenian government reported. The two leaders discussed the agreements reached in Washington in August, brokered by US President Donald Trump, and pledged to continue working on peace between Armenia and Azerbaijan. Pashinyan and Aliyev also discussed the Trump route, a land link that is expected to connect mainland Azerbaijan with its Nakhichevan exclave through Armenia, as outlined in the Washington agreements. They highlighted the need for continued confidence-building measures and agreed to maintain regular communication. In the 2 weeks leading up to the Copenhagen summit, Pashinyan publicly criticized Aliyev twice at international venues for using the term Zangezur corridor instead of Trump route, calling it irredentist and inconsistent with the agreements reached at the White House. Later at the summit, as Aliyev stood alongside Albanian Prime Minister Edi Rama and French President Emmanuel Macron, Rama cracked a joke, referencing US President Donald Trump's recent gaffes when he repeatedly claimed in public speeches that he had ended a war between Azerbaijan and Albania, confusing Albania with Armenia.
You should make an apology here to us. Because you didn't congratulate us for the peace deal that President Trump made between Albania and Azerbaijan.
Prime Minister Nikol Pashinyan addressed recent remarks made by Gyumri Mayor Vardan Ghukasyan yesterday, saying that those who speak against Armenia's sovereignty should be removed from the country's political and public life through democratic means. I think we should simply throw out of the political and public arena those who make statements against the sovereignty of the Republic of Armenia. How? By political methods and all means applicable in a democratic country, Pashinyan said, speaking in parliament. Ghukasyan, who served as Gyumri's mayor from 1999 to 2012, returned to office in April after local elections. Although Pashinyan's civil contract party placed first in the vote, it was outnumbered in the city council by opposition parties that formed a coalition and appointed Ghukasyan, who ran under the Communist Party banner. In a recent public appearance, Ghukasyan said, "China and Russia are forming an alliance, but why does Armenia not form any? I wish Armenia and Russia would form an alliance." The Prime Minister also touched on electoral issues, saying that Armenia must develop stronger mechanisms to prevent vote buying and other irregularities, citing alleged manipulation of voters during the Gyumri elections back in March. "We know that there was voter bribery there, and this is also a problem. This is one of our democratic challenges. We must have mechanisms to exclude such cases," he said. Attacks on civil society in Georgia are sending warning signals for the wider region, including Armenia, Transparency International's Armenian office told СивиլНeթ today. The organization said that the efforts to silence independent voices weaken the rule of law and set a dangerous precedent beyond Georgia's borders. Yesterday, the anti-corruption organization's head office expressed concerns over pressure on Eka Gigauri, executive director of Transparency International Georgia, who told Georgian media earlier this month that an ongoing criminal case aims to intimidate civil society organizations in the country. The head office described the accusations against Gigauri, including sabotage, collusion with foreign powers, and financial crimes, as unfounded and part of a broader effort to silence one of Georgia's most prominent anti-corruption watchdogs. François Valerian, chair of Transparency International, called the pressure a direct attack on democracy and the rule of law. Civil society is essential to Georgia's future and not a threat to its sovereignty. We urge the authorities to end their campaign of harassment. Georgia's commitment to democracy will be judged by how it treats those who fight for accountability and integrity, he said. Transparency International's Armenian office emphasized that civil society is the backbone of democracy, providing citizens a platform to hold governments accountable and safeguard human rights. Sona Ayvazyan, executive director of the Yerevan office, said attempts to discredit or criminalize independent organizations erode public trust and weaken democratic institutions. What we see happening in Georgia is deeply concerning, not only for Georgian civil society, but for the entire region. For Armenia, the lesson is clear. We must remain vigilant and proactive in protecting the space for civil society, ensuring that organizations can operate freely and defend democratic principles and institutions, the organization's statement said. And as always, please follow CivilNet for the latest news and independent reporting from our contributors on the ground here in Armenia.